As a member of a small town where a majority of the people in the town have some connection to agriculture, we are often asked the question, are GMOs really safe? How many of us can say yes and give a reassuring answer as to why they are not harmful? But instead, a majority of us just say nothing and move on, right? Today, I'm going to help you understand one of three things. One, I'm going to tell you what a GMO is. Two, I'm going to tell you why people think they're harmful. And finally, I'll tell you how they are helpful. What is a GMO? A GMO is a genetically modified organism where the plant or animal cells have been modified to have certain characteristics. GMOs were first created to help keep plants and animals alive. The first characteristics that are added to plants or animals may come from things such as bacteria, insects, animals, and even humans. Creating a genetically modified organism took time and perfection because they had to try hundreds of different DNA types or specific characteristics before it was successful. The first known discoveries of a GMO dates back to over 32,000 years ago when dogs were thought to have been the first artificially selected creatures by nature. It wasn't until 1973 when two scientists had a major breakthrough on successfully genetically modifying an organism. Over the year, there wasn't just one scientist that created the GMO alone. Each scientist built off of each other's findings to make breakthroughs. Scientists such as Herbert Boyer, Stanley Cohen, and Beatrice Mintz all contributed to new findings of the GMO as well as many others. The GMO was first created to help farmers with the problem of decreased yields from bugs and diseases. According to a Harvard University study, they said Roundup Ready corn was supposed to be better for the environment by decreasing the amount of herbicide farmers needed to use on their crops. They also addressed the issue of how GMOs would help with health problems. In today's society, many things can often be misleading when people don't know how they work or the truth. Today, so many people believe that GMOs are dangerous. All the time in stores and on commercials, they advertise that GMOs will cause birth defects and make you sick. Some people have gone far enough to protest about GMOs and simply do not know the facts. Food companies take this to their advantage by labeling things GMO-free and hormone-free, just so they can increase the prices and people pay those higher prices for their products. While a majority of the media goes around making false accusations, they ignore the fact that most of the children they have said to have died from GMOs have actually died from a vitamin A deficiency. In order for people to know the truth about genetically modified foods or GMOs themselves, we need to educate the public. We do not necessarily need to change their views, but we do need to give them the facts. If people have the facts, then they are less likely to make accusations. Despite what people say about GMOs, they can be very useful. GMOs were designed to help produce a larger yield. So far, in this day and age, there are a total of 10 crops that currently have some type of genetic modification in it. GMOs are used to create larger yields by preventing diseases, damages from weather, and adding more bushels per acre. In order for GMO crops to prevent diseases and weather damages, they have to be inserted with a certain genetic strand that the crop will accept. Over time, we've used DNA strands from fish to help prevent freezing and rotting in our potatoes. Today we use genetic modifications on corn, soy, cotton, alfalfa, sugar beets, canola, papaya, potatoes, squash, and apples. Over the years, the idea to use GMOs has become more popular around the nation. With a growing population, we have less space to plant and more people to feed. So by increasing the yields, we have more bushels per acre will help us in the long run. The more GMO products farmers use, the less threatened people have become. A majority of our growing population still has yet to see that GMOs were never meant to cause any fear or harm to anyone. GMOs can appear scary and dangerous if you're not educated about them. So when you are now asked the question, what is a GMO and are they really dangerous? You now have the information you need to explain to people that they aren't harmful. Today I informed you about three things. One, I told you what a GMO was. Two, I explained to you how people think they are dangerous. And finally, I told you about how they were designed to help farmers. Genetically modified organisms are the key to feeding our growing population.